Grok CLI has just dropped, and we're going to do a first look at this to see how it actually performs. For those who don't know, if you've been using the Claude Code CLI, the Google Gemini CLI, all these different providers have made their own command line interface, which will allow you to talk to your code and hopefully produce better code from it. I have this very special thing, and I possibly have an interview with the founder. He's actually on his way to the airport right now, and I've reached out, and he may be available and will be on this live stream later today. So this is just going to be a quick stream kind of covering this new tool that just came out. And so Ishmael basically made this tool because he was just really tired of these AI agents being lobotomized. And so what that means is whenever you're using these other integrated development environments like Cursor, Windsurf, or whatever, they take chunks of things and just send it off to the language model, and then you don't necessarily get to, send everything you want to the provider. There are a few tools like Repo prompt that have user interfaces that can allow you to do that. But Ishmael said, hey, I have a different problem. Why don't I just make this an interface with Grok and use Grok to build Grok? So it's kind of meta here, but he used Grok 4 to build this command line interface. And we're going to go ahead and check this out today. I'm going to show you how we can get this project set up so that we can start coding with this type of thing. And we're going to follow the installation steps here on the GitHub, how to go through the API, like on Grok itself, to grab the API and log into the console and generate our API keys that we need for this entire thing to set up. So if you're just getting started, this is going to be a really quick primer vid. If Ishmael is able to call in, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get him on the call. And so definitely lock in. This is a live stream right now. And so feel free to drop your comments, and I'll get you guys all settled on there. So thank you so much for all the support for the people who've been locking in with me here. And let's get going. So check this out. So the Grok CLI is right here, and we have to just click the GitHub link. And this GitHub link, I'm going to go ahead and drop it into the comments so y'all can see it in the comments. So just go ahead and click that, and that will basically take you to this command line interface here that we have going. So I'm going to move my head to the side, and all we have to do is pop open a terminal window. And then once we pop open the terminal window, I'm going to show you how to get this installed here. So when you're popping in, you're basically in your root directory, and then we're just going to copy this command here. And then I'm just going to grab terminal here and then just paste it. So npm-g install will basically do a global install of this into our actual computer. If you don't have npm set up on your machine, you could just go ahead and do that, and it should basically get it all set up for you. Now we should be able to call the Grok CLI, and all those packages should be available within our app here. So in order for us to kick off this thing, we just have to go into our repo and then run this Grok CLI command, and then install, and then run this is for local development, my bad. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is just go to x.ai and get the API key. So in order to do that, we go to x.ai/API. And then you could just go ahead and go up here where it says, if you hover over API, it says API console login. And so when we go ahead and do that, I just want to make sure everything's kind of set up for us. When we do that, we basically will transition into this screen here. And so when we're in this screen here, the way that we get our key is actually quite simple. We're going to hit where it says create API key. And so I don't know what this looks like, so I'm just going to go ahead and blur my screen for now. And when I hit create API key, it's going to actually show us this screen here. And so this screen will basically say, oops, my bad. This is preparing for the show. This screen will actually show us this. It'll say enable for all models, enable for all endpoints, enable request logging, and so forth. So we can just say Grok CLI, and then go ahead and hit save. And then I think when we hit save, I'm not exactly sure if the key will be revealed. It does reveal the key, which is right here, and I have it blurred out because I don't want this key to be available for us, but it's possible I may leak the key. And if I do leak the key, then it will probably be terminated at the end of the stream or at the beginning of the stream or whenever I can, just so I make sure I don't leak these types of things. You do have to put some money in to get this stuff working. So I've just put $10 in, so that way we can kind of test it out. So yeah, I mean, even if someone does get the key, they'll basically kind of do that. So now let me see if I can unblur this now. If I go back here, once you create the key and you copy it, you no longer have access to that key anymore unless you basically go create a new one. And so in order for us to take a look at that, you can kind of see all of your keys here. So create key will pop up that dialog. You can copy the key. And then once you have that key, we should go back to the instructions here. And we're just going to go ahead and do this thing called export Grok API key and put our key here. So I'm going to copy this. I should have probably copied it at the beginning because now that I don't have access to the key anymore. So I go ahead and hit paste here. And so let's just, I'm just going to hit paste here just in case I paste the wrong thing. And then that API key that we got earlier, we're just going to go ahead and put that following that here. So I'm going to show that what that looks like a little bit. Not with the key itself, but this is kind of hard. It's hard to do this stuff live, but I'm trying to do it live because I know it's beneficial for some people here. So as you see, the key is exported here, and then your key would kind of be, pasted into here just like this. So yeah, so make sure that enters there. So I guess I'll basically try to do the blur thing again. Okay, let's see. This is kind of funny to do this. So the key gets there, hit enter. And so once you hit enter, basically the API key is available in this current session. And so I'm going to hit Command K to clear out the terminal right now, and just to make sure I don't copy the wrong stuff. And then, yeah, then we're just going to go ahead and unblur here and then try to see if I can move forward for this thing. So now that we have this is basically, this thing is just for a one-time use, by the way. If I wanted to use this over and over again, I would basically just create a .env file and then just add the API key in there. Basically, you would just add this section in there. And then you would just call it with Grok -- API key. There's another way to do it as well. So once we're ready to rip here, I'm just going to go ahead and go to the directory that I want to go ahead and check out. So I want to go into workspace, into my app. I think this is the one I want to go to. Okay, cool. So I'm currently trying to work on this project, and all I should be able to do now is literally just run the command that just says Grok with a K. Boom. Now we're in. See? Easy, right? So yeah, here we are. We're basically now running the command line. And so for getting started, ask questions, edit files, run commands, create a Grok MD to customize your interactions with Grok, /help for more information. I'll do /help. I always like to do help at the beginning. Damn, this is a clean UI though. Let's see. Is it? Okay, cool. So it says clear chat history, help models /models. Okay, ls path mkdir models. Ooh, I don't know what's going on here. /models. I think there's some issue. Weird. Okay, so there's clearly an issue with the CLI. I don't think this thing's ready for Grok prime time yet. Grok /models. Models. Modelos? Help? I don't know. Switch Grok models. I have no clue how to switch the models. That's weird. Huh. I'm just going to say, what is this repo about? Okay, so now, do you want to proceed with this operation? So yes, please. So it's taking a look. Okay, so it's just using the API with the CLI. Okay, what is the... Okay, what are the changes that I have staged that I have for this feature branch? I'm just really curious to see how this is going to perform for us. Yes, this is going to do a git rev parse. Okay, I have to watch this here. Want to get diff? Yes, please. Awesome. Cool. It's like going through everything. Dang, I have a lot of changes. This is a massive branch or a massive feature that I'm about to land. I've reviewed the summary and additions. Okay. The changes suggest that the branch focuses on improving the dictionary functionality, adding UI components, implemented backend migrations. What are there any major bugs to fix? Okay, so it's going to do some greps to see if there's any stuff that's left over. Okay. I'm just curious. I'm actually trying to approve every single thing. I'm not trying to let Grok get super haywire on me right now, if you know what I mean. Because that can happen sometimes, right? It could just get super crazy. And I don't really know if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's what's up. Does this work with Grok Heavy Sub? Unfortunately not, Eddie. It only works if you have an API key. So I just want to see how much this would have cost me. So let me just do a quick blur. I just don't want to expose anything. So maybe if I can go to usage. Okay, here we go. Cool. So in our usage, we can see how much all of this stuff has cost. I've literally have done no requests. So all of these requests that I've been able to do has just cost me 4 cents. That's pretty cool. Just asking some basic questions. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now. Dang. Okay, let's go back here. All right, so what does it say? I've searched the codebase for indicators of bugs or unresolved issues. There are no explicit mentions of critical bugs. I think, I can assist. This model feels really dumb. But I don't think it's the model. It's actually the interface. You know what I mean? So the interface is the one that's actually has to search through the code. And this is open source, by the way. So I think this dude is literally he vibe coded this and said, hey, I should be able to do some things. I'm just so spoiled with Claude Code that I could just say, what's wrong? And it's just oh, I think I know what you mean. Let me search through the context. And that's why it's really important to check out some of these open source projects, because you can start contributing to them. And up here, if we go to the very top, we'll already see there's 7 different issues that are currently open. So it'll say the text input is acting up when copy and pasting large amounts of text. The file edit tool does a crappy job of showing divs. Support for sandbox mode, headless mode, add native search tool, update token counting to include tool costs. So this is still the early stages of this app. And this is kind of why I sort of wanted to cover it today, is because as a getting started type of thing, you'll probably see this come across your timeline and you're is this actually worth my time? And as of right now, I would definitely say this is super raw, bare bones, and super duper early. It is probably going to show up on your timeline feed. It's just using the API. How different is this from Claude Code and Gemini? I would, right now, I would probably spend more time in Claude Code because I already have a subscription. Right now, this is actually independently developed by the developer. So he's actually setting this type of thing up for himself and is going to continue to make edits. Because it's open source, a lot of people are going to be able to contribute to it. But this is also setting us up for that Grok 4 heavy in the API when that does land in the coming months or so. Also, the Grok 4 coding model is supposed to also drop. So by getting a head start on this, if you're an engineer and you really like these CLI tools, I would definitely just keep digging in and keep playing around with it and make some contributions and send it back. Because I think that's going to be super duper helpful for moving the community forward with this. Because imagine if the Grok 4 coding model is just absolutely bonkers. That's just better than the Claude Code CLI. You better believe every single YouTuber is going to be Cursor is cooked, Windsurf is cooked, Claude Code is cooked, and they're Grok 4 CLI. So that's kind of where I see the puck is going. I think there's a lot of potential for a tool like this, very open source, to leverage on top of an existing coding model and build on top of it, right? So this is just super raw. It's not, this guy literally vibe coded it overnight. So yeah. Pretty good for 4 cents. Grok going into Git history too, probably. Yeah, definitely. Cool. Aliens are talking with mother. That's interesting. Big shout outs to I Am Don as well, kind of joining the stream. Also, big shout outs to the folks on Twitch. How many you win at a month? I don't know what that means. Thanks for all you do. Definitely appreciate that. I appreciate everyone who kind of shows up to the streams and stuff and kind of wants to come hang out and cook. Perfect. Was about to start using Claude Code. Now I want to Grok Code. Mikhail, this is very, very early and very, very raw, as we can see right now. And I still want to do some more coding tasks, but I just kind of wanted to get this in front of people's headlines because I saw this come out. I'm going to definitely play with it, but it's just very, very early. It's nowhere near the level and polish of these other platforms. But I mean, hey, it's open source to start contributing. No, not another $300 a month subscription. That's what I'm really curious about. I have API credits that I put in $10, right? But that's different from the $300 a month that I spent on Grok 4 Heavy on the web interface, by the way. So, sudo Grok scan my computer. No, I'm good off that, right? Okay, so Grok 4 released another model is greater than another AI model. Update another AI model. Yet dead again. Yeah, I think this is that's the YouTube loop here. So let me see if I could do anything else. I'm just really curious. I'm just going to start prompting a little bit more with this because we're here to cook. So, All right, fam, let's see. I don't have any explicit bugs. So let me see if I could pull up this project really quick and show you kind of what this is looking like in Cursor. Because last night I was doing a bunch of like coding in AMP and using the AMP agent. And then I was also doing a bunch of coding using Claude Code. And I think there were some bugs in here where it's like some of the linting bugs that I was trying to fix. So in here, oh, Claude Code is not loading up. Bummer. Had such a good session too. All right, so if Claude Code fails to load, just really quickly, I'm just going to show you what I do. When I run it, you can do Command C. I think it's Claude-C, and it'll continue your previous conversation. So yeah, basically what I was doing was I was cleaning up some bugs and I had this big master plan that I set up. That's right. It's called a dictionary migration plan. Okay, so can you look for dictionary migration plan? Okay. I'm going to tell Grok to read over this file and tell me kind of what I'm trying to do here. Just curious. Please find and tell me where we are at with my project. It's pretty fast, I must say. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now we're just waiting. Okay. According to... Damn. Yeah, I can't even keep up with this. Okay. So it's done this thing. It's basically read the markdown file. Since this status was marked as in progress, some of these steps may have been started or completed. The file doesn't specify what steps are done, but given this part is a branch, it's likely related to code changes. Need more detailed update plan, or would like me to check the related code files, please let me know. Can you please check the related code files and check for the progress? Would just kind of love to know where we're at with this. So basically I'm treating this CLI kind of like my QA engineer / project manager to like just give me a status update. And so we'll see how far this gets us. And then I want to see what the cost is, right? So like how much does it cost to go through code? So, and it has its own little to-do thing. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. It's moving super fast. I'm impressed. I don't know how many chunks of files it's doing at a time. Oh yeah. As people, anyone who gives a thumbs up, I'm basically doing this dance. If you don't know this, like, it's so funny. I feel sort of embarrassed, but I've kind of, as of yesterday's live stream, I've pretty much committed myself to like doing the dance for people who give a like on the stream. It's if you're on it's only on YouTube. So like if you're on YouTube and you go in and hit the like button, basically I have to, do this type of thing. So there's currently 4 of them. Oh my God. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, let's see what's going on here. Summary of, okay, so it checked the code, verify everything. Oh my God. Schema update completed. The dictionary field is added to the users table. The migration script is completed. Simplified the query. UI components, both hook. Okay. Dropping the old table is not started. Ooh. Is still defined with no code or comments indicating, which is the migration plan is significantly advanced in terms of code development. All major preparatory steps are complete. Or testing migration are in a controlled staging environment. Yes. Yeah, I don't want to remove tables yet because that would kill that would actually remove data in production. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. If you'd like to proceed with testing migration scripts, I want to say, given what you know about the code and the feature implementation, do you think this is the right implementation? I would love your expertise to do a full code review and see if maybe there's a better way to implement this, because this is currently not yet live in production. And so I'm basically just trying to give Grok the tokens to like let it really kind of do its thing and let it rip. Let it rip, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cost. I'm just really curious here. So, this is a live update. So now we're at 19 cents. Okay, this is pretty cool. Nice. So we went from 4 cents to 19 cents to now 22 cents. I can mess with this. I can mess with this. It's just kind of cool to see this. This is literally just calling the Grok 4 API. It probably doesn't have that crazy context management window stuff that you normally would have. It's interesting. I mess with this. This is I'm actually blown away how fast the Grok 4 API is. This is nice. Nice. Claude Code remembers more than you do for sure. That's so much facts. How much you spend? Okay, Tech, you're asking the good questions here. Do you really want to know? Because it is a big cry. $300 a month for Grok 4 Heavy. We got $200 a month for OpenAI's ChatGPT Pro, so I can get those features. We got Claude Max plan, not the $100 a month, but the $200 a month plan. I got like, what else do I have? I think I canceled the Google plan, so I didn't get on that $250 a month Google Gemini stuff. But what other things do I have? I think those are the biggest ones I have right now as far as like AI subscriptions. Are they actually getting me the same value back? That's debatable. I'm hoping to generate enough income by using AI to help me kind of elevate myself. But at the same time, because I'm able to pay them, I might as well just turn on the camera and have everyone else kind of take a look as well, right? So folks who are members and stuff like that get to ask me different questions. I'm doing the little dance for the thumbs up. And so I could I could do this basically, everyone's kind of sort of enabling me to do this. Would I be doing this anyways? Probably yes. If I was working somewhere trying to use these AI tools to understand and help my workflows, for sure. Have I been able to get further than I have using these types of tools? In some ways, yes. Is it worth all that money? There's not an immediate payoff, but I feel like there's going to be this incremental foundation, right? So I have to start with this pyramid of understanding how these tooling works, and then I can build the next step and build the next step. So eventually it'll kind of, come to the very top here. So this was a crazy evaluation from Grok 4 with this Grok CLI thing. Huh. So the formatting needs some work, obviously. And this is just this guy's vibe coded thing. It just started to take off. This is so crazy. So yeah, it refers to its earlier reviews and then referring to my earlier review of this. And then identify risks and alternative approaches. I don't understand what the context windows are, but yeah, it's really hard to read the markdown here. And I think that will basically improve over time. So the current approach is suitable for individuals. Some critical adjustments needs for safety, scalability. I recommend focusing on enhancing migration process with the incremental dual write strategy. Okay. Inflation is a strong point. Recommends adjustments can be safely deployed to production. Okay. I mean, this is a really tiny feature-ish. I mean, I'd say it's tiny, but it's not super massive. So yeah, if you're thinking about playing around with the Grok CLI right now, if you're just kind of tuning in, it's super raw, super like right out the vibe coding kitchen. And this guy literally used Grok for the API to make this whole command line interface. And so here we are today. It still has a lot of room and potential because, there's like a lot of context management. There's a lot of extra stuff that needs to be put into this, but it's open source and it's made from this guy named Ishmael who had this problem, but basically saying, I don't like that the language model basically, when I use an IDE like Cursor or use these other things that they, lobotomize is what he was saying. That's will basically take the context out and take the code files and not send everything up like they should be. So I think that this is an interesting tool to play with. I think it's interesting because there's a small window that we have before the Grok 4 code model drops and then before any of the other heavy infrastructure drops via the API. And I think once that drops, plus any of this code model magic, I think this engine can be a pretty big force to compete against Anthropic's Claude Code. And I know a lot of people don't want to pay a lot of money for that. So if we look at just what we've been doing just now, I'm just refreshing the page to get the most up to date. This has cost us 59 cents. So yeah, is it cheap? How would I compare this maybe to Kimmy Moonshot? I don't know. I think there's just a lot of different ways to go about it. So if you're looking for something maybe like cost effective, it could be a little slower, but could be just as good as Claude Sonnet. And maybe like you can use Kimi K2 with Claude Code. So Claude Code is already a known entity. It's already really good at grabbing context. So when you pump it up into something like Kimi K2, that could be really awesome. As far as Grok 4, I think Grok 4 has a lot of potential, but what we're missing is a lot of the tooling that's going to be above it to make it kind of really shine. So the potential is there for that model, but the toolset stuff is still being developed and still kind of premature. I wouldn't count the model out as far as how things are going. So if you are maybe vibe coding, you're not like in that tooling space, you may kind of put this to the side for a little bit and kind of come back to it. If you're like an engineer who wants to tinker and make this experience a lot better, and you do a lot of context management, or let's just say you want to learn more about context management, this could be a fun open source project to really start playing with the model and start to kind of play with these fine tunables so that you can kind of learn how context management works. And you can contribute back to the community. And by the time the next code model launch drops from Grok 4 in the coming months, you're going to be like way ahead of the game. And you'll have a lot of experience doing these types of things. So I would encourage you, if you're an engineer and you're kind of wanting to learn more, this is probably the best time ever to start experimenting with this. And it's not going to cost you $15 for Claude 4 Opus for the input and then $75 for Claude 4 Opus on the output, if you know what I mean, which is crazy bonkers. All right. So I think that's kind of where we're at with that. Let me just answer some quick questions here for the folks who are on the stream, especially kind of get to my members first who have been replying here. So Bacon Overflow says, 59 cents for that amount of code is expansive, in my opinion. If you spent all day using it for a month, you'd probably be way more expensive than just paying for Claude $200 a month plan. Yeah, as of right now, that is what it is, and I think part of it is because you're sending probably lots of code files and things, so it'd be really interesting. Can it be used to create coins and so what? No, that's not what we do around here, bro. I'm gonna insta ban you, bro. So can you put the link in the bio, please? Yeah, I will have the link in the description for this video to walk through all those different URLs. And so at the end of this live stream, you'll basically be able to go back and select the different chapters for the stuff we talked about. And then these links that, to get the API keys and everything will also be available. And right now, if you're just in the stream, you'd probably have to scroll up a little bit to click the link to get that GitHub file. But I definitely will have those below so that folks can kind of check a look there. I hope that there will be one main CLI tool like Open Code, but last commit 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that everyone contributes instead of lots of model-specific CLIs. That's the tough thing. See, Anthropic has their own standard. OpenAI has their standard for completions. All these people have their stuff. And it's just really hard to have one tool to rule them all without having these crazy merge conflicts too, right? So, yeah, I think that'll be what's up. Yeah, Barber Brothers, what's up, man? I got you, fam, for sure. Never mind. Do you know if they use prompts code to train their models, or they have zero data retention like some other AI tools? Privacy is my main concern here. For OpenAI Grok 4, I'm not entirely sure how that works. I know that whatever you find out, Juan, please let me know, because I would love to share some more information, and I would love to do some more research on that. So as of right now, I'll say I don't know, but then stay tuned. Do you think Grok API is better than Moonshot? I haven't played around recently to use like the Grok API as of like my last live stream. So I'm really curious here to see if they've continued to make tool call. I know they were going to make some more tool calling improvements. So that'll be really interesting as well. Just joining in is this Grok 4 in Claude Code? No, I wish. But this is Grok 4 as far as its own CLI. So this guy made a command line interface to talk to the Grok 4 API. And that's pretty much that there. So I wish it was kind of in there, but the tool calling and stuff is not set up yet there. So are you entering prompts via voice? Yes, I use a tool called Wispr Flow. So if you basically go to rfer.me/Wispr, WISPR, I think. Is that what it is? I'm just trying to show what the URL will be. I have a referral code that you can use. And here, I'll put this on the screen. So if you use this referral code, basically you'll get like a free month for using the service. this is pretty much my go-to. And yeah, I'm not sponsored by them, but I should kind of drop this. But like in terms of like my workflow, it's just amazing. I use them all the time. I talk about them all the time. I love them. I'm actually wanting to reach out to them to do a sponsorship because I actually believe in their product so much, and I've loved what they've done with privacy and everything like that. A lot of my friends who have like accents from like India and these different languages are all picked up super quickly. But on top of that, if you're doing emails and stuff, you don't have to do different lists. Whatever you're saying, it'll actually list them out in list format, automatically formatted for you. But I can't tell you how, there's just so much more about this that you just have to know. But yeah, get on this. Use the referral link because it does actually support the channel, if you know what I mean. All I do is get credits right now, but I want to do a partnership where, you know, there is an exchange of money so that more people can know about it. You know what I mean? And you know what? I'm already telling you about it. So like I should get paid for it because, you know, that's kind of, I love products like that. So yeah. You got a referral. Oh, for sure. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Got to drop by for appointment, but thanks. We'll check out the link. Grok API and Open Router. Is it the same price? I believe so. Let's see. Open Router, Grok API. Oh, there's Grok Beta. No. Let me go back. Compare. So in here, let me just change my head as well. Input 3, output 15. So yeah, this is basically like what Claude 4 Sonnet process. Yeah, up to 6. Yeah, I don't think that's it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at. How's Wispr Flow different from Super Wispr? I have to do the little thumbs up dance. Well, there's a couple different things. They have, I think each of them have their own models, right? One, Super Wispr has their own thing and Wispr Flow does their own thing, but I find the formatting to be really, really good with Wispr Flow. So when I'm typing emails, it knows that I'm in the email context and it just, you know, like I'll say, hi, Ray, and it'll do the comma and all that. I don't have to say comma. I just say, hey, Ray, how's it going? Everything's going pretty good. I want you to pick up 3 things. Can you get me milk, this, and I'll see you later. And then it will like, everything will just be formatted correctly. I don't have to do that. And I, like with Super Wispr, it may not always get that formatting correctly, or I find it very inconsistent. And even though I have like a dictionary of words, I also find it, sometimes it misses quite a bit. So Wispr Flow has been super awesome. But I think the biggest part for me has been the iOS app that's been dropped. So that Wispr Flow on iOS with a phone, I'm going crazy with text messages, like every single app. Like I reply to all my like YouTube comments literally through Wispr Flow. So you may see some mistakes too, but like I'm just flowing. I'm just, that's probably my biggest use case because I like to go for walks. And that's the time I kind of get that like I was like, okay, I got 30 minutes to go from here to town and I'm just going to do comments. And then the other 30 minutes, I'm just going to walk without, touching my phone. So I want to get work done. I just literally like respond to emails like super fast. And I think that's kind of the magic of having it on device too. So yeah, I think, that's what's up. Bacon overflows. Like Wispr Flow has worked really well for me. It did something funny once though. I was using it to ask Claude to do something basic like HTML instead, transcribe audio and generate the mini. I could see that like your voice, because I think Wispr Flow, some of the demos early on I saw were about it actually writing code for you. So I wouldn't be surprised if it actually wrote code if you can actually do that. I just joined. Did you create all this by prompting the AI or did you write something yourself? No, Wispr Flow is not my product. My product I made is called Ray Transcribes. So if you do a thing called Ray Transcribes, and so this is something that I've made for myself. I actually literally vibe coded this app last year using Claude Sonnet. And I totally forgot about this app, but this is something I use daily in my workflow actually. So I transcribe videos every day. All of my live streams go through this and you get your transcripts super duper fast. And so what's really cool about it is that not only is it super fast, this is actually, I found out is the cheat code to get in front of all of the search engines like Bing and so forth. So you can get ranked super fast, literally just by, having your transcripts inside of your videos. So I need to write, everyone who does the thumbs up, I have to do this little thumbs up dance. Oh my God, so funny, but hilarious. But yeah, anyways, that's that thing. I do have a code for this. If you want to try this out, by the way, it's like, you can get $15 off any of the plans. So basically you'd get a free month here, or you would just try the beta for $15 bucks a month. I'm landing features, as you can see, and that's part of the reason why I'm coding with AI is because I'm using AI to help me build these features out. So I already have a timestamps thing that I'm working on. It's already working. Every single live stream that you're seeing in the last like 10 days is basically me beta testing my tool. I have a blog post generator. I have these various things that are currently in the works, and I'm about to land them, fairly soon. So they're about to drop. So the code you want to do is Ray Cooks is the code you want. And when you do Ray Cooks, basically that'll allow you to get a little coupon code. And Tech Friend is in the building. What's going on, man? Tech Friend is in the building. He's got my whole app loaded up, and he actually gave a really good feature request. So we just do an app. I'll show you the app right now, live. And so he came up with this request. He's like, yo, Ray, I'm a content creator too. Can we just have like this thing called like a custom dictionary list? So that way I can just put in my words that I say a lot, or the words to make it more accurate for me. So then when you have those custom dictionary things, then you get the right formatting. So you don't have to like update your scripts. So whenever you say O3, it's going to have the correct O3 or Claude Sonnet or Claude Code. You'll have the right formatting for all those things, which is super duper nice. Because a lot of times I'm having to, change Claude Code from Cloud Code to Claude Code, and it's so annoying. So I just put that as a dictionary item, and it's just like it's done. So it's super awesome. So yeah, that's Ray Transcribes in a nutshell. You get dark mode, light mode. Got some other features lined up for y'all as well. I'm really curious. I'm really anxious to show you, which would be really cool. So yeah, I think that's that there. That's this guy in a nutshell. What else is going on? It is 10:48, and I need to head out very, very, very soon. Yeah, big shout outs, man. That's what's up. Oh yeah, I think Tech Friend now works at Augment Code. So that's something that's going to be in the works coming soon. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that as well. That's going to be really cool. Let's see. Just looked at Activity Monitor, and it's taking a bunch of CPU. Having Notion running in the background as well is not as much, I guess, relative to what machine you have. Bacon Overflow. Let me show you a terminal command that I was using that I want to share with y'all, because y'all need to know about this. And where is it at? Okay, here we go. So you can do this command, and you can see what Electron processes that are being run on your things. Let me see if I can kind of show this real quick. So before I head on out, y'all need to know this. So if you do ps grep awk print2. So if I check Canva, you'll see Canva launches these other processes, these like sub processes in the background for processing. And they're things like these extra tools and helpers like crash pads. And these are supporting utilities for the app. So just because you kill the Canva app, you can still have memory leaks over here as well. So this is like down a debugging the rat hole that I've been doing like with Cursor and these other apps. Like Notion, watch, we'll do N for the Notion. And then we'll see. So Notion has all of these extra processes that are currently running on my machine, like eating up memory. And so just because I killed Notion, I was like, why is Notion still bugging out? And it has like all these different like GPU rendering processes, utilities, like and all this stuff. And it just got me super curious. And I didn't realize that Notion is also like reading my screen. I was like, bruh, Notion is reading my screen? That's why it's so cheap, right? Or that's probably why it's so free. Like they have these different processes that they're running in the background to do these types of things. And I don't know, I haven't really inspected everything, to be honest. And this is just my opinion. And, if they are reading my screen, I don't know to what capability, but I know that they're calling the screen capture kits and they're calling the screen capture picture, which are the things that show up when I do like a live stream. I can select this screen to be available on screen. So I haven't really like time hangout video capture starts. So these are hooks that they have in their app, because you can also do like a voice dictation. So if you give them access to your voice or, to record meetings, they have to run these processes so they can collect that information and then do the transcription. But for me, I always that's why I made my app, because like I could just drop the app, the voice file in and get the stuff back. And I don't have to worry about keeping a process on my machine and understanding, are they recording all the time? Like what's going on? So everyone, yeah. So just be aware, this is like me taking a first look. This is not like an extensive, thorough investigation and like with memory screenshots and database and source code, actual debugging. This is just me looking through these processes. So if you want to do this command, I'll show you how to do this real quick. So you just do ps awk and then you do the little pipe command. So that pipe command, you have to hit shift, and it's right above the return key if you have a US keyboard. Hit space and then hit grep, and then type it in just like that. So that'll show you all of those processes. Watch, I'll show you cursor. Cursor, right? So if I do cursor, cursor runs all of these extra processes too. And you can see like there's these like rendering windows. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they run, right? Because I had a massive memory leak. They were using 1.5 terabytes of memory in my thing. I was like, bro, that's just way too much RAM. I don't have enough RAM for that. So they were like constantly writing to the disk. And so I'm still debugging this because I want to figure out like what's going on. So then if you add awk, so awk will basically print out like the second, if you do 2, it will print out the process ID. So I don't know if you remember in this whole list that we have up there, like I'll show you what awk print 1 does. So awk will just print like the first column of whatever that thing is, it'll print out. So that says Ray. And then here it's going to print out the PID, which is the process ID. So cursor right now, just by me having this window open, has all of these additional supporting processes just for that one thing. Yeah, it's pretty thick, bro. It's pretty thick. So yeah, I love the shell. This is really cool stuff. So yeah, I love Notion, but it feels so heavy. I think it's because they launch all these extra processes, and it's possibly like some performance issues that they need to fix with their app and stuff. I wonder, have you ever tried Junie from JetBrains? Would there be an option for you to compare Junie to Cursor or Claude Code on stream? I like JetBrains products a lot for like debugging. I was using them a lot extensively. Like IntelliJ, I used a lot a while back. I also used before the AI coding stuff, and then I was using PyCharm almost exclusively. PyCharm for debugging is just goated. It is so good. And I want to get back to writing more Python. I haven't done some Python stuff in a while. And I just realized that when I'm coding with AI and Python, I'm a lot slower, but I'm a lot faster if I just go by myself with Python and AI, without AI. And I just use JetBrains for the debugging, and I just take a look at every single memory call or object or every single thing and inspect it that way. But yeah, more on that later. I think that'd be really cool for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I think what I need to do is get going because I have a call at 11 o'clock. And yeah, if you want to learn some more, just definitely stay tuned in, subscribe, Ray Fernando 1337. Also, big shout outs to the members and everyone who's dropped a like and a thumbs up as well, because I've been doing this little like dance every time someone drops it live. So that's basically what I'm doing. So as of now, we have 21 times. You probably should have seen me dance 21 times like this. And there's more people doing this right now. Oh God. So that's kind of where we're at. You can find me online at X Ray Fernando 1337. And if you want to join the membership right now, before we hit our first 100 members, we're currently at 70 members. So I have 30 more members to go before we hit that 100 mark. So you'll be able to get into the Discord and everything for $6.99 if you just join my YouTube membership. That's Ray Fernando 1337. Let me go ahead and see if I could just drop this on the live stream for y'all. So if you go to YouTube, at youtube.com/@RayFernando1337. And on here, if you hit that little join button, that's going to show up this little like membership perks thing. And then that's kind of where you can learn more about this. So I don't know, does this like does this have, okay, let me just drop this in the thing here. So once you go there, you have to do it on the web, and then you should be able to kind of join in there. And then there's a post there that basically will allow you to send some of the details for me so that I can get you set up in the Discord. I send it over a private link, and you can join and kind of hang out with some folks. And then from there, the price will just basically double once we hit our first members. So I appreciate everyone who's been able to support me there, because it's actually allowed me to hire my first editor. And so he's going to be cutting up some of the live streams for us so that we can get some nice, like, shorter form videos. And my members will be able to get to see those first before it goes out to the wider audience. So it's just one of the cool membership perks that you have. And then in the coming weeks, I'll have a post that will describe, I'm going to go live a couple times for members only. So I want to make sure I do one in like the California time zone, window. And I also want to do something else in the other side of the world type of window for the folks as well on the other side. So yeah, good morning. How's it going? Thanks for the stream. Peace out. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it, y'all. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.